The Gilmer ISD Board of Directors recently voted unanimously to call an election on November 5, 2013 to consider 3 proposals for new facilities for Gilmer ISD. The list of facility needs was compiled by a committee of 35 community leaders from all walks of life and was submitted to the board for consideration in July of 2013. The board thoughtfully and prayerfully considered the submitted list and after much deliberation condensed the list to the following propositions for taxpayer consideration.
Proposition 1 is for the construction of a new 122,000 square foot high school. The facility would replace the existing high school that was built in 1952. Proposition 1 also includes the renovation of the top floor of the old vocational building. This space would be used to house central administration offices. Total cost for the proposition is $30,690,000. Proposition 2 includes funding for additional classroom space and renovations at Bruce Junior High. This space would include new science, fine art, and self-contained classrooms, and replaced an outlying building that was built in the 1960s. Additional parking for Gilmer Elementary and Gilmer Intermediate is also included. Total cost for Proposition 2 is $3,365,000. Proposition 3 is contingent upon the passage of the new high school, Prop 1, and would add a multi-purpose facility to the new high school campus. Total cost for Proposition 3 is $2,155,000.
Over the past several years, our school district has achieved regional, state, and even national recognition for outstanding performance in academic and extracurricular activities. In 2012, Gilmer High School was selected by U.S. News and World Report as one of the top 200 high schools academically in the great state of Texas, a distinction that puts GHS in the top 11% of high schools nationwide. GISD has been featured as a case study in 2 publications and an article in the Wall Street Journal for our effective implementation of the SMART Goals program. We've not only achieved the state's rigorous academic expectations as a district, but have also achieved recognized status on multiple campuses for many years in a row, and in 2012, the district earned 6 academic distinctions. In recent years, our community has provided our students with a state-of-the-art elementary facility, a new gym at the junior high, a collegiate-level band hall, a vocational building for FFA, and a stadium renovation including a clean, modern field house and weight room. As a result of our investment, our enrollment at the elementary is up over 15% and has helped attract multiple good families to our community. Our FFA program enrollment is among the 12 largest in the state out of over 1,200 chapters. Our band program is recognized among the very best, and our athletic program, both boys and girls, has put our small town on the map. Our football program, for example, has won more games than any other 3A team in the state of Texas since 2000, has accumulated 11 undefeated district championships, and has made 4 trips to state, winning the championship twice. To say our students are achievers would be a gross understatement. Our students, under the direction of some of the highest quality teachers and coaches in the state, are truly overachievers in every way. These are simply a few of the many recent accomplishments the students of our community have achieved. We have much to be proud of and thankful for. Let's begin with Proposition 1, to build a new high school facility and renovate the old vocational building to be used as administrative offices. Many of you watching and listening to this presentation are a product of Gilmer High School. Our community traditionally comes together to support our students like no other in East Texas. We are truly an army of Buckeyes. What you may not know is how progressive your alma mater has become in recent years. Many people recognize Gilmer on a state and even national level for our incredible success on the gridiron. That's understandable because athletics traditionally receives more press than academic accomplishment. What most people do not realize is that GHS is also considered one of the top schools in East Texas academically. Earlier in the video, we mentioned that GHS was recognized this past year as one of the top 200 schools in Texas by U.S. News and World Report based on its academic achievement. Anyone saying Gilmer does not measure up in the classroom simply doesn't know the facts or has been misinformed. Our students as a whole not only measure up but surpass many schools in our area on state-mandated assessment tests. GHS has not only met the strict state requirements on standardized testing, but has also been a state-recognized campus, earned academic distinctions, and has produced a National Merit Scholar qualifier for the past 4 years in a row. That means that these students scored in the top 5% of SAT test takers nationwide. At GHS, we spend a tremendous amount of energy on college readiness. We now offer so many dual credit courses, a student can now graduate high school as a college sophomore. In just the last 2 years alone, GHS students amassed over 1,200 credit hours, saving their parents thousands of dollars in tuition. We have a college counselor dedicated to helping students prepare for college starting in the 7th grade. This counselor also helps students fill out college applications, grants, and scholarship applications, hosts college and career day activities, and works with parents to help them prepare their students for the college experience. We now feature a program called AVID for students that come from families that have no college background. The program starts in junior high and continues all the way through their high school experience. AVID guides and motivates these students and their families through the sometimes intimidating collegiate preparation process. As a result, many students who would have otherwise had no opportunity to obtain a college degree have gone on to do just that. We also offer multiple AP courses that students can and have received college credit for when they pass the AP exam. In the past 5 years, our graduating seniors have earned over $7 million in scholarship money. Last year's senior class earned over $1 million in scholarships. 20 students graduated on the Distinguished Achievement Plan, and 53 students left with college credit. Several years ago, we implemented a unique new idea called 100 Minutes of Math. Each student receives 2 class periods of math each day instead of 1, and there are normally 2 instructors in each class. As a result, our math scores have improved so much that other schools in our area frequently call our administrators to ask for our secret. In fact, this year, GHS earned one of its 2 academic distinctions in mathematics. Only 10% of Texas high schools earn that distinction. Our students not only perform well in the classroom, they perform extremely well in extracurricular activities. For many kids, their desire to be a part of an organization, club, or athletic team is the only reason they come and the only reason they strive to do well in the classroom. Gilmer's extracurricular programs are second to none. We all know the success of our athletic programs, but did you know that Gilmer athletes have also earned over $7 million worth of college scholarships in the last decade alone? Since the list of athletic accomplishments are well known, let's focus a moment on a few other highlights you may not be aware of. Gilmer's FFA chapter is considered one of the best programs in the entire state. It's the 12th largest program out of 1,200 chapters. They've won so many awards, scholarships, and contests on area, state, and national levels that it would take an hour to read them all. In July of 2013, they were selected the best chapter of the year for the entire state, earned 16 state degrees, 6 American degrees, were awarded the Dr. Billy Harrell Award from the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and the list goes on and on. FFA is not about cows, plows, and sows. It's a program that teaches leadership, citizenship, and cooperation with others. Last year alone, they did 11 community service projects. Suffice it to say that in the world of agriculture, Gilmer FFA is considered in the same high regard as our football program. Like our FFA program, our band program is recognized and respected on a statewide level as well. They too have won too many awards to mention here, but a few highlights include sweepstakes awards consistently for over a decade. They've advanced to the area competition 2 of the last 4 years. They've averaged 60 First Division UIL solo and ensemble awards every year at the regional level, 10 at the state level, and in the last 13 years, 68 students went on to college on a music scholarship. The Buckeye Stars have been consecutive sweepstakes award winners all 26 years of their existence. They've won over 198 trophies and plaques in competitions and camps. 10 ladies have been awarded college scholarships since the program's inception. Did you know that Gilmer is the only 3A school in the state that offers a junior Air Force ROTC program? Our ROTC students present our national colors at over 100 events a year, participate in a wide variety of community service projects, and prepares many of our young people for a career in the military. We currently have former students serving in Afghanistan, the Middle East, and the Far East. Our students have had the opportunity to participate in leadership schools at Kirkland Air Force Base and even the Citadel. Along with debate, dance, cheerleading, robotics, technology, art, theater, Model UN, UIL academic teams, choir, and 10 different athletic events, students at GHS are offered a variety of extracurricular activities that teach them life skills that will follow them for a lifetime. The oldest part of GHS was built in 1952, making it almost 62 years old. It's been remodeled on multiple occasions since that time. The committee and the board selected this proposition to be one of the highest priority for multiple reasons that I will outline in no particular order. Old buildings cost money to maintain. Like an old car, at some point the law of diminishing return goes into effect, and it no longer seems logical to keep putting money into it when a new one will soon be inevitable. The roof is nearing its life expectancy and will soon need to be replaced. Our current school suffers from leaks, mainly at roof lines where additions were added. The HVAC, a very costly item, will soon have to be considered. Drip pans in the ceiling that catch condensation often have to be emptied with a shop vac, or they will spill over into the ceiling tiles. The hallways are not heated or cooled, so in the winter, our hallway temperatures are sometimes in the 40 to 50 degree range. The electrical system that was put in place 60 plus years ago can't efficiently accommodate our technological needs today, and breaker boxes are exposed to students in the hallways. Space is also a problem. While each grade level has a workroom at the elementary, the high school only has one 12 by 30 teacher workroom for 60 teachers to share. General storage is also a problem, and a portable building is currently being used for overflow. Our bathrooms are inadequate. There are only 3 teacher bathrooms in the main building, 2 of which you would actually use, and they are old and small. Student bathroom facilities are too few and too small. Several of our classrooms are too small because they were add-ons during remodel. The cafeteria, although clean and relatively new, is entirely too small. It seats approximately 200 students, which requires creative scheduling and 3 lunch shifts. One shift actually interrupts a class period in the middle and then picks up again after lunch, which is difficult for some teachers. Our science facilities are out of date. Currently, Kilgore College will not allow us to offer dual credit in science despite the fact that we have certified instructors, because our facilities do not meet their standards. They are too small, lack enough water and gas outlets, and the fume hoods do not meet current codes and are expensive and need replacing. The required chemical exposure showers recently added for emergency are not in a shower stall facility, so if they have to be employed, water will run out all over the floor for the duration of the shower. The chemical storeroom, which is required to be secure, has a drop ceiling over the top of it and is too small. Although grandfathered in due to the age of the building, we do not meet current safety codes. The biggest problem is that we have only 2 labs for 4 grade levels that serve biology, chemistry, physical science, physics, anatomy and physiology, and environmental science. Security. Our current school was built long before the unthinkable days of Columbine. Although we provide security officers at each campus and utilize the latest camera surveillance, our campus is hard to secure because it is so accessible and spread out. Aesthetics. Our school does not project a progressive look that reflects well on our community. Right or wrong, many people judge the book by the cover, and we feel certain that we lose many students to transfer as well as potential newcomers to our community because these people opt for a more modern environment for their children. The perception for many is that an old school is a reflection of the attitude inside. A city's high school is the flagship of towns all across America. We paint the mascot logo on our water towers, name businesses and restaurants after them, and brag to our co-workers from neighboring towns when our students beat theirs on any field of competition. Our high schools are a direct reflection of our community values because it houses our most precious resources. Finally, capacity. Our estimated capacity is 695 students. This year's high school enrollment is 680 students. The current design simply doesn't allow for growth. Remodeling the old vocation building to be utilized as the new administration building is also part of Proposition 1. Although old, the structure of the vocational building is still sound. The current administration building, built in 1918, is not. The building has asbestos that must be abated, is outdated, lacks adequate room for community-attended board meetings, and doesn't reflect well upon the district, especially when hiring new potential teachers or administrators. The existing administration building, as well as the old elementary, can be sold for business purposes if the community so desires. Now let's discuss Proposition number 2. Proposition number 2 includes funding for additional classroom space at Bruce Junior High. This space would include new science, fine arts, and self-contained classrooms. It would replace an outlying building that was built in the 1960s. This proposition also includes funding for additional parking and traffic improvements at the elementary and intermediate campuses. Bruce Junior High has an impressive track record of their own. They have been recognized by the state of Texas multiple times, and last year they not only met the state standards on the new STAR test, they were awarded an academic distinction to boot. They are one of the few junior highs in East Texas to offer the AVID program discussed earlier in the video. They induct an average of 45 new students each year into the National Honor Society and average an incredible 35 Duke Scholars each year. In 2013, 2 junior high members ranked in the top 25% of all Texas high school juniors and seniors taking the SAT college entrance exam. The junior high features many diverse choices of career and college readiness electives such as Junior FFA, robotics, Why Try, which is a program dedicated to character education, building trades, theater arts, choir, art, band, and athletics. The facility being replaced is over 50 years old. It is old and run down and doesn't provide needed space for additional self-contained classes and fine arts. Like the high school, the junior high science labs are outdated and need to be upgraded in order to provide our students with a more conducive learning environment. If you've ever picked up a child at the elementary or attended an event, you already know the answer to this one. There is staff parking available, but basically no visitor parking at all except for a small gravel parking lot east of the school. If funded, the plan is to build approximately 150 parking spaces for visitors and event parking and reroute traffic in some areas to relieve traffic congestion. Now let's discuss Proposition 3. Proposition 3 is contingent on the passing of Proposition 1 and would add a multi-purpose building to the campus. If Proposition 1 were to fail, Proposition 3 would be off the table no matter what the vote. So what exactly is a multi-purpose facility and who would use it? Multi-purpose facilities have become more common over the last decade because they are multi-purpose. This building would be equipped with nets in the ceiling so the golf team, baseball team, and softball team can practice indoors during inclement weather. The band, majorettes, and ROTC will use it for marching drills. The drill team and cheerleaders will practice routines, and the track, cross-country, and football teams will also use it during inclement weather. Anything that would be put on hold due to rain, snow, cold, excessive heat, or bad weather would be moved into this building. This building can also be used for college and career days, health fairs, and many other academic or community events. Now let's discuss the financial position of Gilmer ISD, the cost of each of these propositions individually and combined, and why we chose to bring these propositions to a vote at this time. It is always the first priority of the Gilmer ISD Board of Directors to be good stewards of the community's financial resources. While many schools struggle financially, we remain strong. Despite the fact that 60% of our community is considered economically disadvantaged and that the state has continually cut our funding, including almost $2.5 million in the last 2 years, we have not raised the M&O tax rate in almost a decade. In fact, our tax rate has gone from $1.46 in 2003 to $1.18.5 today. Under the direction of Superintendent Rick Albritton, Gilmer ISD has received superior financial ratings from the Texas Education Agency for 12 years in a row. Gilmer ISD has received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for those same 12 years. Our bond ratings are also superior, which allowed us to recently refinance several bond notes at record low 1.9% interest, saving our taxpayers millions of dollars in interest money. This refinancing has also allowed the district to lower the interest and sinking tax rate. Our financial position has never been stronger.
Proposition 1 is for the construction of a new 122,000 square foot high school. Proposition 1 also includes the renovation of the top floor of the old vocational building. Total cost for Proposition 1 is $30,690,000 and would require a 21-cent tax rate increase. Should Proposition 1 pass, here is what it would mean for each tax-paying household. If you own a $100,000 home, your taxes would increase $180.61 annually, or $15.22 monthly. Proposition 2 includes funding for additional classroom space and renovations at Bruce Junior High. Additional parking for Gilmer Elementary and Gilmer Intermediate is also included. Total cost for Proposition 2 is $3,365,000 and would require a 2.36 cent tax rate increase. Should Proposition 2 pass, here's what it would mean for each tax-paying household. If you owned a $100,000 home, your taxes would increase $20.02 annually, or $1.67 monthly. Proposition 3 is contingent upon the passage of the new high school, Proposition 1, and would add a multi-purpose facility to the new high school campus. Total cost for Proposition 3 is $2,155,000 and would require a 1.5 cent tax rate increase. Should Proposition 3 pass, here's what it would mean for each tax-paying household. If you own a $100,000 home, your taxes would increase $12.82 annually, or $1.07 monthly. The total cost for all propositions would be $36,210,000 and would require a 25.35 cent tax rate increase. Should Propositions 1, 2, and 3 pass, here is what it would mean for each tax-paying household. If you own a $100,000 home, your taxes would increase $215.45 annually, or $17.95 monthly. It is important to note that if you're 65 years of age or older, taxes are frozen on your homestead and will not increase.
As I stated earlier, it's always the first priority of the Gilmer ISD Board of Directors to be good stewards of the community's financial resources. In 1979, our community voted no on a bond election to build a new high school. The cost of the same size facility that we're proposing today would have cost the district just under $4 million. Today, it will cost $30 million. I'm sure the high interest rates of that time were a factor. During the same era, Gladewater ISD passed a similar bond in 1983 and built their high school and stadium for just under $5 million. They have a beautiful and functional facility that is now paid for, and they'll probably enjoy for another 40 years in that facility. The board has decided to bring these propositions to a vote at this time for 4 reasons. Number 1, we recognize the legitimate need of these facilities to continue to provide our students with the best education possible. We want to give our kids every advantage from a collegiate, vocational, and technical point of view. Number 2, we believe building a new high school will be instrumental in promoting the growth of our local economy. We believe we will attract many new taxpayers to our community, as well as many who have transferred out, because we offer a clean, modern, progressive facility backed up by an award-winning academic program and a second-to-none extracurricular program. Number 3, inflation rates. This same school in the early 80s would have cost, like I said, under $4 million, and today it will cost around $30 million. One thing's for sure, these costs will continue to rise every year. If we wait another 10 or 20 years, this same school could cost $50 million or more to build. And number 4, interest rates. Interest rates are at historical lows. In the early 80s, interest rates were somewhere between 15 and 18% and might have been a determining factor in that bond election, which would have been understandable. Today, that's not the case. Earlier, I mentioned we were able to refinance current bond notes as low as an unbelievable 1.9% interest rate. With our credit rating and financial stability, we should be able to lock in good rates and be able to build a lot more school for our tax dollars. One thing I'm sure we'll all agree on is interest rates have nowhere to go but up. Because of these 4 factors, we, the Board of Trustees for Gilmer ISD, feel it is our duty and responsibility to submit these propositions as outlined by the Community Committee to you, the taxpayer. Furthermore, we feel that from a financial perspective, it would be prudent to consider this matter now instead of passing it along to the next generation. On behalf of the board, our teachers and administrators, and our students, I thank you for your time and consideration.